But building is just the beginning. And now it's time for phase 2. And as with many good things, it starts with something simple. On Wednesday, August 27th, 2 weeks from now, we all become mortal. Three new stats are coming into the game: health, armor, and energy. Armor protects health. And you can see these bars on the left here. The one on the outside, the yellow bar, is your armor bar, and the one inside is the health. The armor's protecting the health. As you take damage, your armor's gonna whittle away. If you run away real quick and don't take damage for a while, your armor will regenerate back up. But if you run out of armor, you'll start taking health damage. And when you run out of health, you're gonna die. And we'll talk a lot more about that in the combat and landmark panel, so make sure you don't miss that. But then there's also energy, and energy powers all of your heroic movement abilities as well as your combat abilities. So you'll need to manage your energy to be able to do the things that you want to do and adopt the game's play styles that you want to play. So since now most of the players in the world are going to have a new goal, which is not die, we thought we'd go ahead and put together a video and show you some players that failed at that goal. Oops, there you go.
Come on.
We know most of you want to stay alive. So, if you're going to take off into dangerous territories, and I'm telling you, the caves are going to get dangerous, you're going to need good gear. And in Landmark, your abilities always come from your items. If you want new abilities, you need to equip new items. So to get things started, again on August 27th, we're going to introduce 3 new basic weapons into the game. On August 27th, you'll get the Conjurer's Staff, the Soldier's Blade, and the Marksman's Bow. And just to prove you that we're actually doing work, we're going to show that to you live over here with the dev team on these systems. Hey, dev team. Okay, so first of all, we're going to show you the Conjurer's Staff. And the Conjurer's Staff is pretty awesome. Before we get started, I wanted to tell you that every single one of these weapons has 2 abilities. There's a left-click ability, your basic attack, and there's a right-click ability, your alternate attack. So on the Conjurer's Staff, the energy burst is your basic attack, your left-click attack. And it shoots a pattern of 9 energy bolts out in like a shotgun sort of style pattern. And it looks like this. Okay, so then you also have the right-click attack, and that's always your alternate ability, and it does a little bit of damage. This ability is called Gravity Shock. It does a little bit of damage, and it also creates a snare bubble that slows down your opponents so that you can pick them off at your leisure. So that's the Conjurer's Staff. And now, now we'll show you the Soldier's Blade. Soldier's Blade does exactly what you would expect it. The left-click ability is a slash, which deals damage to your target and also destroys terrain. So you can see it's chipping away at the wall behind there. Some abilities do more, some abilities do less. And then the right-click ability is Battle Rush, which charges you to and through your opponent, doing damage to them, staggering them real hard, and also regenerating some of your armor. Okay, so that's the staff and the blade. Now let's talk about the Marksman's Bow. The Marksman's Bow, of course, the left click does exactly what you'd expect it to do. It fires an arrow. It's called a quick shot, which can be rapid fired for damage. And then the right click ability is called Sniper's Mark. It does damage also, but more importantly, it marks your target, and then when you start using quick shot against it, you do double the damage and you stagger your target. So that's the 3 basic weapons that we're going to introduce on August 27th. Okay, so the basic weaponry you just saw is all player crafted. And later on, we're also going to introduce epic weaponry, which you'll find as loot, both from cave chests and when you kill monsters. So let's take a look at some of the concept art for some of these epic weaponries. So this is a heavenly sword and shield. You'll be seeing more of that later. This is the fire staff. Fire sword and shield. And then the shadow sword and shield. And just to show you, like, all these epic weaponries, of course, have abilities of their own, because if you want different abilities, you have to equip different items. So we made a quick movie to show you what the fire sword and shield is like in action. As the Marines say, you can run, but you'll just die tired. All right, so once we get salvage into the game later on, you can collect this epic gear, and you can actually break it down and make items of even greater rarity out of the pieces. So there's lots and lots and lots that'll be coming in. And of course, you can only equip one weapon at a time normally, but multiple items can be equipped together if they're crafted as a set. As an example, when you equip the fire sword, when you craft the fire sword, it's something that you can just click the button and you equip it. And it does, of course, what you just saw in that movie. But then if you craft the fire sword plus shield, the abilities will be different than when it was just the fire sword. Like, for instance, in this example, it might be a fire aura that protects you by damaging your opponents when they hit you. So there's different ways that you can combine this stuff together, and it lets us keep a really tight game balance going forward. We'll also soon be adding armor to the game. And basic armor, of course, will be craftable, but it'll even be able to be upgraded and improved when we add the item imbuing system later on. You keep hearing us talk about crafting 2.0. It's coming. Soon, TM. But armor isn't just defense in this game. Like all the other items, it also has abilities. So when you equip armor, you get certain abilities, which means that you should choose your armor based on the type of gameplay that you want to embrace. I'll show you some examples. This particular armor is designed to reward people that like to play long-range gameplay styles. When you wear it, your ability ranges increase, and you get bonuses whenever you trigger hard-to-use abilities, like abilities that require channeling or long casting times. Got that? Cool. So this armor is designed for people that love to move around, people that really like heroic movement. It reduces energy costs for heroic movement, and it can also grant bonuses for specific kinds of movement combinations. It's a different kind of game. All right, and then we also have armor for those that like to be up close and personal with their enemies. When you equip this armor, you get better health and armor regeneration speeds, as well as some pretty cool bonuses when you get hit a lot or hit by certain kinds of weapons. There's a lot of different kinds of armor in the game, and not only will they look different, because we're genre agnostic in Landmark, so we'll have sci-fi and modern and fantasy kinds of different gear for you to equip, but also the armor has different abilities, so as you collect more pieces, you'll have more variety of options during any kind of combat situation. So, what does the gear protect you against? Damage, and damage usually comes from monsters. So if you're curious about how our monsters think and act, make sure that you check out the AI panel, because the Storybricks guys are here, and we've been doing a lot of work with them, and we've got some stuff to tell you, but way too much detail for this keynote, so go to the panel and check that out. But meanwhile, we thought you'd like to take a look at the monsters that we're going to be introducing into Landmark over the next month.